spending a week in gorgeous Queenstown, New Zealand, booking that dream overwater villa in the Maldives, flying business class on Singapore Airlines on the big Airbus A380. Hello and welcome to the Travel Dialogue Podcast, episode number 3. Notice the common thread at the beginning of the episode? I've been able to book some of my dream trips thanks to loyalty programs over the years. In the very first episode, I mentioned that my goal with the Travel Dialogue podcast is to help you become a smarter traveler. Episode number 3 is now going to delve into some of the basics of loyalty programs. Loyalty programs have been around for a while. They're not new to many of us. However, we don't really pay much attention to them and we don't really focus on the details. In this episode, I am going to cover some of those details, and we will also be doing a demo for you covering one loyalty program. As we go further down the line, we will also be doing individual episodes to cover an entire loyalty program for almost an hour. If you want us to cover any specific loyalty program, feel free to reach out to us and we can have a detailed discussion about your favorite loyalty program. So let's get started. In this episode, we are going to cover some of the basics of loyalty programs. Before we delve deeper into airline and hotel loyalty programs, let's start with a simple example. If you're like me and love to drink coffee, imagine there's a coffee shop right outside your house. Every morning, you go and pick up a black coffee. However, your friend likes those fancy frappes. Every now and then, he makes those purchases. Those fancy frappes cost a lot more than your simple black coffee. Now, why did I use this particular example? This brings me to the 2 different types of loyalty programs. Type 1, spend-based loyalty programs. And you will see that these are becoming even more common of late. In a spend-based loyalty program, you would be rewarded based on how much money you're spending with that particular business. So let's come back to our coffee example. Your friend is buying frappes and you're buying black coffee. Even though your friend isn't buying frappes as frequently as you are, your friend will be rewarded a lot more by the loyalty program. Why? Because the frappe costs more and in the long run, he will spend more money with the loyalty program. Simply put, in a spend-based loyalty program, the program rewards you based on the dollar amount you're spending with the program, as opposed to the frequency of purchase. That brings us to the second type of loyalty programs, type 2, which is frequency-based. The unique feature of a frequency-based loyalty program is the fact that it is agnostic to the amount of money that you spend, but rather rewards you based on the frequency of purchase. Let's come back to the example of coffee. In this case, I am buying black coffee every day, but my friend is buying frappes. Even though my black coffee costs a lot less than his frappe, I am buying black coffee 2 times a day. So in the long run, I may have spent less money at that particular business than my friend, but for the purpose of the loyalty program, I'll be higher in the pecking order as a member simply because this is a frequency-based loyalty program and I'll be making more frequent purchases compared to my friend. In today's world, we often see businesses mixing a bit of both. So you will see a lot of hybrid programs that reward you in parts for frequency as well as the dollar amount of purchase. Now, here's the reason why I use that example. When it comes to airlines and hotels, you may be rewarded based on how frequently you fly, or you may be rewarded based on the price of your ticket. Similarly, with hotels, you may be rewarded based on the number of nights you spend or the amount you spend at the hotel. As I mentioned earlier, a lot of programs these days are a mix. They're a hybrid of type 1 and type 2, And as we go along, we will be going into further detail about each one of them. If there is a specific loyalty program that you want me to cover, feel free to reach out and I'll be happy to do so. Now, with every loyalty program, there are three things that you need to know. The very first thing, earning miles or points. Each program has its own way and structure of rewarding you for flying with them or booking hotel nights with them. This is what we call the earning side. For the purpose of this podcast, we will be focusing on different tips, tricks, and strategies to help you earn your miles and points much faster. On the other hand, the second aspect, redemption. Now that you've done the hard work and earned all those miles and points, what's the optimal way to redeem them? Are there any tips or tricks which would help you redeem them for outsized value? How much can you stretch your points and miles so that you can book more trips with them or book more hotel stays? The last but not the least, and this is probably the most important aspect that you need to know about loyalty programs. We all lead busy lives, so while we may be laser focused on earning points and miles through credit card spend or other means, and then looking to redeem them as soon as possible, there's one aspect that you should never take your attention away from, and that is expiration dates. Each loyalty program has its own expiration dates. They have their own terms and conditions and rules set in stone. Over the course of this podcast, I will also be covering certain apps or tools that you can use to track your miles and points so that you'll never leave any of them behind, so that you never forget and miss out on your miles and points. Let's say you're flying with an airline and you are constantly booking flights for your corporate travel, you're earning miles, and very soon you realize you have accumulated a significant chunk of miles. Now, you may ask me this question: why do loyalty programs matter? And why should I pay attention to them? Well, if you're like me and you love travel, then focusing on loyalty programs is a must. Now, loyalty programs don't really exist in isolation. Bear in mind, this is a massive business which may run into billions and billions of dollars. Airlines and hotels sell their loyalty program currencies to banks, who then offer you some amazing deals through their credit cards. So this is big business, and the businesses themselves are incentivized to draw you in. Now, there's an aspect of consumer psychology here at work. Program is luring you in to make frequent purchases. You're signing up for promotions, you're signing up for deals, you're constantly having different touch points and interactions with these brands. Purely from a marketing perspective, this is generating top of mind awareness for the brand in your mind. Why? Because every 2 to 3 days, you're having some kind of interaction through some touch point. Maybe it's a 5% discount deal. Maybe it's some co-branded promotion with a coffee chain. Every now and then, that particular brand name is getting registered in your mind. So the next time you're looking to travel, you already have that top of mind awareness about that brand. And you think, hey, why not fly that airline? Or why not stay at that hotel chain? See how it works? However, loyalty works both ways. On one hand, airlines and hotels are ensuring that they get your repeated business. On the other hand, you are feeding into an ecosystem where you think that you can accumulate currency to redeem later in the future. Isn't that amazing? Given that you have so many endless possibilities after accumulating miles and points, it makes perfect sense to pay attention and then redeem them for outsized value. So while they might seem a bit complicated at the beginning, as you slowly start dipping your toes and then start diving deeper, you'll be very thankful that you started studying loyalty programs. And if you're looking to book that business class flight or that aspirational hotel stay, then you are at the right place. Let's keep going. Now, I've said a lot so far, and you might be wondering, this is all good in theory, but how does this really work in a real life scenario? So let's have a look at an example, and we shall cover one of the biggest hotel loyalty programs in this example. All right, let's have a look at the example of a loyalty program and how things really work in the real world. Now, I'm looking at the Hilton Honors loyalty program. It is one of the biggest loyalty programs in the world. with amazing footprint. Whether you're looking to stay in Queenstown, New Zealand, Hanoi, Vietnam, or in a city in India, you will usually find a Hilton there. We are on the Hilton website. I'm already logged in. So let's have a look at some of the basics. At the outset, we focused on both earning and redemption of points. In case of Hilton, the way it works is you have four different status levels. Based on your status level, you earn more points. You have the member level, which is the basic level. Then you have silver, gold, and then diamond, which is the top tier elite status level. You can reach these status levels either through spend with the program, booking more nights. There are also premium credit cards in the market which give you complimentary gold status as well. Over the years, I have been both Hilton Diamond and Gold, so I will be sharing some of my experiences using some of the benefits over here and how they work. But let's focus on points earning first. So, simply when you look at the number of points that you can earn, if you're at the member level, you will earn 10 points for every dollar that you spend. And then there are a few exceptions over here. At the top tier level, once you reach diamond, you will get 20 points for every dollar you spend at a Hilton property, with some exceptions based on the region that you're in. Now, why does elite status matter? Firstly, to get to top tier elite status, you need to meet certain criteria. In this case, 60 nights, 30 stays, or 120,000 base points. For gold, 40 nights, 20 stays, or 75,000 base points. I really like both gold and diamond, and I would say that if you're looking to attain elite status in the Hilton program, then gold is the sweet spot. Why? Because once you are Hilton Honors Gold, you automatically start getting complimentary breakfast at Hilton hotels around the world. The only exception to that rule is that for properties in the United States of America, you will not get full complimentary breakfast, but will get a daily breakfast credit. That works a bit differently compared to other parts of the world. And that's mentioned over here. Also, once you're at the gold level, you will earn more points as compared to a simple member or silver elite level. So 80% points on stays. And once you're diamond, you get 100% bonus points on stays. Now then, we all love upgrades. Once you check into the hotel and you hear the golden words, you're being upgraded. You're thrilled, aren't you? With gold and diamond, your probability of getting upgraded is significantly higher compared to the other status levels. However, with gold, what I've seen in my experience is that I've usually been upgraded to the next category level as opposed to a suite. Whereas with diamond, I have been upgraded to a suite in certain cases. There's another key difference that I need to point out between gold and diamond is the fact that with gold, you will get executive lounge access at a property that offers lounge access only if you've booked a room at that level. So if you've booked a base level room, you will not get lounge access. Whereas with Diamond, you will get lounge access even if you booked a base level room. I've actually experienced this when I stayed at Conrad Dubai. The Conrad Dubai has a fantastic lounge which serves breakfast, afternoon snacks, tea, coffee, and they also have evening cocktails and things like that. As a diamond guest, I was able to access the lounge at Conrad Dubai, even though I was staying at a base level room. Had I been Hilton Gold, I wouldn't have gotten access. The only way they could have granted me access is if I had booked a room which was at the executive floor level. So, this is how the program works at a very basic level. These are the four different status levels. I would highly recommend if you can, and if you have some upcoming stays, then it makes perfect sense to go for the gold level. If you frequently travel for work and can get close to that 40 night or 20 stays threshold, then I think that gold is where things start to get really interesting. Also, as I mentioned at the outset, there are credit cards in the market which give you complimentary gold status. We'll be covering the details of that in further episodes as well. Now, at the start of the episode, I told you about the different types of loyalty programs. The way it works with Hilton is that it is a revenue based loyalty program when it comes to redemptions. So they don't really have an award chart, but the average price or the purpose of redemption is based on the cash price of the hotel. Things vary a lot based on seasonality, and you will see some really wide ranges based on that. So, if you have the Hilton website open, you can check out this really helpful tool that they have. It's called the Hilton Points Explorer. You can look it up, and that should show up pretty quickly. I really like this because you don't have to look at individual properties if you're planning a trip. So let's say I am looking to book a beach vacation and I am looking for a points price of around 50,000 points and I am looking to travel around Asia. Okay, I select Asia over here and I click this Discover Destinations button. I can see there are three results in this particular list. Oh, there you go then. The Conrad Bali shows up in the search results. This is a really fantastic property. I had stayed here all the way back in 2016. So if you haven't stayed here, I would really recommend that property to you. Now, let's have a look at this property, 47,000 points to 80,000 points per night. Why do you have such a wide range? The reason for that is seasonality. If you're traveling during shoulder season or off season, you might be in the lower range of 47,000 points per night. But if you're traveling, say, in December or during a really busy time of the year, you would expect those prices to be in that 80,000 points range. I hope this was able to explain some of the basics. On one hand, how do you earn points? The different ways of earning points. You can stay at the hotel, you can spend through a co branded credit card. In further episodes, I will also be covering this interesting aspect about Hilton Honors, where they sell points at a discount and how that can help you book your dreams. So, those are some of the basics. I hope I was able to cover most of the stuff at a very, very base level. In a nutshell, that is the Hilton Honors program. I really like this program because if I'm looking to travel around the world, more often than not, I'm able to find a Hilton property and I'm able to use my points to book a stay. All right, so that's a wrap for episode number 3 of the Travel Dialogue podcast. I hope you were able to understand some of the key aspects of travel loyalty programs. As I said at the outset, we will be covering some of these programs in great detail, doing much longer sessions with some industry experts through interviews and conversations. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, the Travel Dialogue podcast. We are also on Facebook. You can look us up at the Travel Dialogue podcast. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at travel_dialogue. If you love the content over here, you can also contribute to the podcast growth through PayPal. You will find all the links in the description below. So then, episode number 3 is done. And just like that, we are on our journey towards becoming a smarter traveler. We hope that this episode was educative and interesting for you. And we look forward to seeing you in episode number 4 very soon. Till then, have a great one. Take care.